Our hours since the last mission have been spent in pensive contemplation. Our mission on Char was to arrest Tassadar without hesitation. But his dedication to his cause, even in the face of exile and persecution by his own people, has caused us to question the wisdom of the Conclave and their motivations. His words chisel a crack of doubt within our conscience, splitting our loyalty in two. In the end, a choice half made is no choice at all. We cannot condemn Tassadar when he has only asked us for the patience to listen and learn. We must hear what Tassadar has to say, and once again we place our trust in him, not as a student deferring to a teacher, but as an old friend, a comrade, and a peer in the struggle to save our people. To this end, he has asked us to help him find the Dark Templar, the lost sons of Auir, banished for the highest of crimes, heresy. Tassadar guides us as we descend from low orbit to the planet's surface, bringing us to the beacon which marks the location of the Dark Templar. The signal is being emitted from an abandoned Terran installation set within the razored crag of a jagged rock bed. Before we touch our vessel down to the surface, Judicator Aldaris hails us from Auir, issuing us a stark warning.
Executor, by following Tassadar and attempting to rescue the Dark Templar, you have openly defied the will of the Conclave.
Our assisting in Tassadar's heresy is nothing less than suicide, and in doing so, we have doomed not only ourselves, but all those serving under our command.
Abandon this mad scheme now, and the Conclave may show you mercy.
The only choice of mercy we have is if we return to the Conclave now and beg for their forgiveness, or pity. Our damnation for this act is all but certain.
Don't let him control you, Executor.
Tassadar's conviction remains unshaken, as the voice of reason bringing light to this umbrage. He explains to us that the Conclave's true goal is not peace, but control.
The Judicator have long since steered the actions of the Templar to their own ends. It's time we acted of our own accord.
They desire to be nothing less than the sole authority of the Templar caste, subjecting all of Auir to their will alone. Tassadar declares that the age of their tyranny has run its course. We, who have stained our hands in the bloody crucible of war, must become our own masters. We will see this war ended, he insists, guided by our own moral compass. His words ring true in our mind, and we can't help but agree with him. Aldaris seethes with disappointment at Tassadar's remarks.
Ah, Tassadar, have you fallen so far? To think that you were our brightest hope, our most beloved son. Now you are everything that we are not. You are lost to us.
Who was once the progeny of the Templar caste, a shining prodigy of what it means to be an executor. His favor has turned sour, his luster tarnished and rusted over in his eyes. Now he is just another lost cause, a lifeless puppet, foolish enough to cut its own strings once bound to the Conclave. But what is the Conclave's pride worth if its price is the survival of the Protoss race?
Not only have you damned yourself, but you have damned those who have followed you.
Such is the price for our race's salvation, Judicator. I have been here with the Dark Templar these last few months. While I helped them in their fight against the Zerg, I learned many of their secrets from the prelate, Zeratul.
Tassadar sees beyond the pettiness of present consequences. The salvation of our people is worth any price, and he would discard the mantle of any gilded honor in pursuit of that goal. Survival above all else. Tassadar has been stranded on Char since Kerrigan began purging their forces from the planet, which is how he found refuge and even camaraderie with the Dark Templar. Zeratul, their leader, even offered his tutelage, instructing Tassadar in the Dark Templar's teachings. The power they embody themselves with is of the same essence as the force which sustains the Overmind and his cerebrates. Thus, he explains, the Dark Templar are the best equipped to slay the Overmind once and for all. Aldaris sternly reminds us that the cerebrate we slew for Tassadar was easily resurrected.
Apparently, the energies which empower the Dark Templar also course through the Overmind and its cerebrates.
The same cerebrates which you told us to destroy. Your advice was useless.
This, Tassadar explains, was only because the energies within Protoss weapons could not disrupt the Overmind's connection to its broods. Only the Dark Templar possessed that ability. The Zerg campaign confirmed this, as it was Zeratul who was able to slay Cerebrate Zaz during the Battle of Char. Zeratul was able to destroy not only the Cerebrate's body, but his very soul, and no living thing can be restored to life if it has lost its whole essence.
For the creature was reincarnated before our eyes.
Unfortunately, yes. Your attack on the Cerebrate failed because the energies that you wield are useless when used directly against the Overmind and its Cerebrates. Only the Dark Templar's power can truly harm the Zerg. That is why we must rescue Zeratul and return him to Auir.
Therefore, finding and rescuing Zeratul and his brethren is paramount. The key to the downfall of the Zerg and Aur's reclamation.
You were warned, Executor. The Conclave will not be pleased.
We touched down on the planet not far from the Terran installation's entrance. A sizable Zerg force has infested the area and will need to be removed before we can make our way inside. Once Tassadar and his escort of zealots make it to the entrance, we can then focus the rest of our forces on defending the area. For this mission, Tassadar has supplied us with schematics for a couple new structures. The robotics facility, along with the robotics support bay. The former grants us access to the shuttle. An invaluable aerial transport unit, vital to the success of this mission. The support bay offers an upgrade for the shuttle's flight speed, and crucial upgrades for a unit we have long awaited to get our hands on, since all the way back when Phoenix teased us with them in our second mission, the Reaver. I won't waste time explaining what these hulking roly-poly Beetleborgs do, as I've described it a few times in earlier videos, but the upgrades we receive for them enhance their scarabs with a massive damage increase and a doubling of their scarab capacity to a whopping 10 scarabs. Still, these big boys are incredibly slow, but thanks to the shuttle's upgraded engines, we can ferry them around to annihilate key targets across the battlefield. Zerg resistance to our advance is heavy and resilient, but the Queen of Blades' absence from the area should make our march to the Terran installation that much easier. The enemy attacks us from our southern flank, so we circumvent our army around their forces until we stumble upon some wayward Terran defenses, clad in white markings. Why does that sound familiar? Who else do we know that always has his hand in the oddities of Terran installations? Why, it's none other than Edmund Duke. And after destroying a single missile turret, the old fart demands an immediate ceasefire, promising swift retaliation if we do not yield.
Protoss Commander, this is General Edmund Duke of the Terran Dominion Armada. You are in violation of our airspace and have endangered human lives in your reckless attack against the Zerg. I order you to withdraw your ships immediately. If you fail to comply, I will not hesitate to open fire upon your vessels.
But Tassadar will not suffer the mulings of weak, fated old men.
General Duke, I am Tassadar, and you are well known to me. Whatever leniency I extended to you and your comrades before may have been in error. If you persist in halting our course, We will burn your pathetic fleet down to the last man.
I'm gonna have to assume that was a hostile response.
Our reply to General Duke is the coldest of verdicts.
How may I help? Torakala! Yes, Executor?
Our word is our bond, and for the cost of a single photon cannon, we torch the good general's fleet to cinders. Nothing is left but ash, drifting lifelessly into the wind. With Duke's forces out of the way, we journey further east, extracting a mineral cache set behind some of the general's structures. He won't be needing them anymore. We ready our warriors with a newly established forward operating base before punching into the entrenched Zerg forces. Our scouts find an infiltration route for our shock troopers, with which they scatter the enemy defenses.
Engage the enemy. Upgrade complete. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Honor guide me. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
The ensuing disarray gives us an opportunity to safely escort Tassadar to the beacon, and so we do. Tassadar enters the installation, holding complete faith that we will defend the entrance and make ready our escape upon his return. We will not betray that trust, and lock down the area with as many defenses we can muster, even preparing ambushes in the off chance that the Terran return for a counterattack.
Hey, Sergeant! Sarge! Hey!
You will immediately tell me why you have called me from my desk, Private.
Protoss unit, Sarge! Coming through the South Pass! It looks broke!
Kill it!